So I've always put my work before my health. When I first started, I've been here 9 years now in South Boston, Halifax, Virginia. And if I had to skip a meal to see patients, I would. If I didn't have time in the morning to get something at home to eat, I would pick something up on the way in. I would pick something up at 1 o'clock for lunch and chug it down before I started the afternoon. And if I had to go back to the hospital to see patients right out of the office instead of going home and eating dinner, I would. And the reason I say all that is about 4 years ago, July, I had applied for more life insurance and had gone through a physical and got denied. And when I got the results back, they said, you got denied because you were diabetic. And of course, being a physician, I'm like, how can I be a diabetic? I don't have any of the symptoms. I know what a diabetic looks like. And my A1C, which is a 3-month measure of diabetes, was 10.2, which averages out to an average blood sugar of 250. So I sulked on it for a few days and then told my wife about it. And I realized that I had to make some lifestyle changes for myself so I could continue to provide for my family and be active and be there for my kids. Otherwise, I was going to end up like one of my patients. So what I did is, with the help of my wife, we made major changes. I started getting up in the morning and exercise because I always made the excuse I didn't have time to exercise because of my busy schedule. Well, now I started getting up and going for a walk every day for 7 days a week at 5 o'clock in the morning, 3.5 miles a day. Did that for probably 2 solid months. Instead of skipping breakfast, I had a shake for breakfast because I would skip breakfast because I didn't have time. So went through Walmart. We would get different shakes over the course of from there. Start out with Special K protein shake. That would be breakfast. We'd do a snack bar for lunch, Special K snack bar for snack, mid-morning, snack bar, and mid-afternoon. And then we'd started packing my lunch instead of me picking up lunch, stopping at noon to have lunch, as opposed to working through lunch. And if I had to go back to see patients after my office, I'd still go home, eat dinner with the family, and then go back. Putting myself as a priority and made some major lifestyle changes. So with all those changes, in the span of 4 months, I went from 245 pounds to 170 pounds. I went from walking every day to transition to running. And me, who was never a active person at all, that most activity I did was play with the remote and turn on the television and flip channels when I wasn't asleep or seeing patients. I ended up turning myself into a half marathon runner and ran my first half marathon in November. And I did it under 2 hours. And I think it was about 1 hour 45 for 13 miles. I was pretty impressed with myself on that. And so I've continued that lifestyle through since then. And have been running, have run two, three half marathons, some smaller races, and now I run relay races with a bunch of my friends. We're about to do our 5th relay race next weekend. Actually starts Friday from Cumberland, Maryland, and goes into DC, 200 miles that we trade off every so often. But anyway, the reason I said that is I put my mind to something and I did it and I got results. I continued that lifestyle for the next 3.5 years, and over that time, slowly I did get back to some bad habits. I never went back to sodas, never looked back when I gave them up, never went back to sweet tea, didn't look back, was drinking a lot of water and kept drinking a lot of water. But I started adding back slowly things like candies and things like that, with occasional enjoying myself. And come January, I was up to 204. I still felt good, still was running, still had the endurance and stuff, but I didn't, I could tell that my clothes were fitting a little bit tighter. And just as a perspective, I used to wear size 42 pants, and I had dropped down from size 42 to size 32 in the span of 4 months.